Welcome to this YAF Talks series. This is talk number 1, which is entitled Unlocking the Power of Biotechnology to Revolutionize Sustainable Aviation Fuels. This series of talks is meant to be a space for open and engaging conversations about our European project, which is entitled YAF, which stands for Yeast-based Solutions for Sustainable Aviation Fuels. Each session of the next series, starting with this one, is built around a specific topic which is connected to the project. Rather than delivering formal presentation, these talks aim a little bit to offer diverse insights and spontaneous reflections from the invited speakers. So for this first talk series, we have 2 invited speakers apart from myself. Let me introduce myself first. My name is José Luis Martínez. I am associate professor at the Technical University of Denmark, and I am one of the supervisors of this doctoral network, this YAF Doctoral Network. I have been working with non-conventional yeast for about 15 years now. I graduated at the University of Cordoba, and I did my postdoctoral research at the Chalmers University of Technology in Sweden, where I was working with the recombinant protein production and cell factory, microbial cell factories development, focusing on yeast cell factories for over 6 years. I was project leader there too, and then I moved to Denmark, where I started as assistant professor, then associate professor. This is my current position. I'm also the head of the Technical University fermentation core. So that's myself. Let me introduce our other 2 speakers. I have the pleasure to introduce César Velarde, which joined a little bit of his CV. He joined in March 2024 the International Civil Aviation Organization Office of Environment as Sustainable Aviation Fuel Specialist and Coordinator for ICAO Act programs projects. He has previously worked as environment specialist for the European Civil Aviation Conference, the Spanish Civil Aviation Authority, and for the ICAO Technical Cooperation Bureau. He has dedicated most of his career to the development and promotion of sustainable aviation fuels and involved in several sustainable aviation fuels initiatives and projects in Spain, Europe, and worldwide, and holds an engineering degree from the Polytechnic University of Madrid. So welcome to you, César. And our other speaker is Maria Spinosa, which is a doctoral candidate in the YAF project. She is currently employed at Indea Energy in Madrid, and her project on the her particular project on the YAF consortium is a cascade platform conversion of waste-derived FA into sustainable aviation fuels by one-pot catalytic reaction. Maria's areas of expertise, a little bit of her background, so you get to know her a little bit. She holds a bachelor degree in industrial chemistry and a master degree in industrial chemistry for circular and bioeconomy. And her research focuses on studying catalysts for the conversion of waste-derived fatty acids into precursors for sustainable aviation fuels. And she is also actively engaged in science communication. So welcome to you also, Maria. Let's just get to the first series of conversations. So my first question of this series is for César. Hope you are ready, César, for the first one. And I would like to know, as expert in climate change and sustainability, what is your opinion on the role of biotechnology to achieve sustainable aviations?
Thank you very much for your question, José Luis. Well, the promotion and development of sustainable aviation fuels that we call SAF has been identified by the International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO, together with all member states around the world and the aviation industry as the main enabler to reach net zero emissions goal that has been agreed to for 2050 for the international aviation. So the development of new technology options to produce SAF will be fundamental to achieve a large-scale SAF supply at an economically viable manner, right? To reach such a common goal, while we keep also enjoying the unquestionable benefits of air transport for society. So the main challenges for achieving a reliable sustainable aviation fuel can be in first place maybe the identification of feedstock options which are really sustainable, do not compete with food, expansion of agricultural land, or other essential resources and ecosystems, right? And also the development of technological options. So clearly that's where biochemistry, biotechnology can play a role. Thank you.
Yeah, that's really interesting answer. Yeah, so Maria, getting back a little bit into the research on the field. So do you think that there are currently enough global research efforts on this sense, on the sustainable aviation fuels development?
Yeah, thank you for the question and for introducing me. So I think that nowadays in Europe, there is a big focus on sustainable aviation fuel productions. And thanks to programs like Marie Skłodowska reactions, young researchers like us can investigate and study innovative and creative solutions as well. But in my opinion, from a global point of view, are still missing like long-term investments and also a kind of cooperation between different disciplines, like for instance, biotechnology and catalysis that could have a synergy to produce more efficiently sustainable aviation fuels. So I guess that we still need some cooperation in terms of investments and disciplines in order to push into the innovation forward.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, I totally agree with your view here. So getting back to César, what is thinking about the commercial aviation companies? What is the point of view of the aviation companies on the development of or even utilization of sustainable aviation fuels? So what are they demanding? What do they want? What do they need?
So commercial companies were a bit reluctant a few years ago in any solution that would increase the cost of flying, right? But we can see in the last years that there's been a significant change in most commercial airlines, and they have assumed that while SAF will be a bit more expensive than conventional fuel, it's a reliable investment to decarbonize their business, which is now assumed that is really needed to keep their business existing in the future, right? So they nevertheless demand that SAF incorporation is made in a way that would not put in risk their competitivity. That's the main request from the commercial airlines. And the best case studies that we could put as example, it's the progressive mandatory SAF blends into Jet A1 supply that is already happening in Europe, Brazil, many other countries like India, China, Japan, Indonesia will take place in the coming years.
So there is an actual current obligation to implement a percentage of sustainable fuel on the current fuel that they are using?
Yes, that's in all those regions that I have mentioned, there's currently an obligation. And I have to say that in all those cases, the aviation industry have played an important role as facilitator and interlocutor with the governments that have implemented those measures. Yes.
Right. So that's really, really great to hear. Yes.
Okay, and now going into practice. I have a question for José Luis. And can we mention some examples of how research based on yeast address SAF production?
Yes. So yeah, still in we are in the very beginning. So we are in the infancy of the progression of sustainable aviation fuels production using microbial biotechnology. But the thing is that for many years we have actually studied yeast in not only in biotechnology but for fundamental research. Normally we have used historically yeast research in trying to understanding cellular processes because being an eukaryote microorganism, they are very much alike, like human cells, so to speak, rather than bacteria. And we have learned during this fundamental acquisition of knowledge, we have learned a lot of things that we still nowadays don't fully understand, but that they have a clear applicability. And one of these applications that we can actually take advantage of is on sustainable aviation fuel. So currently, yeast cell factories, they are utilized for many bio-based biotechnological production. Still, regular fuels are one of the examples, but many of the things that we have been learning from yeast that we can apply to sustainable aviation fuels from this fundamental research, where, for example, we knew that we learned that there are plenty of yeast that actually naturally accumulate a lot of fats, a lot of oil. So rather than understanding that, we see that as an advantage. So, many of these oils that they accumulate, they are actual precursors or precursor molecules of the final molecules used as, aviation fuel. So we can take advantage of that. We can learn a lot from that. And then on the other side, plenty of other yeast research, we have also learned that they are able to utilize many other carbon sources that, as Cesar mentioned earlier, so we should not use sugars. So we are not competing with the food industry or with feeding of the population. So there is not an actual competition there. So we learned that we can actually use residues from other industrial activities, which are actually causing a damage to the environment. And we can actually utilize that and take advantage of that rather than being a damage to the environment because they are residues from other industrial applications. We can utilize that as a source of carbon for our yeast and then produce these oils that will end up being a sustainable aviation fuel. So what we are doing in this specific consortium is just putting all this knowledge together, like taking advantage of everything. So we know how cells accumulate lipids, which yeast accumulate lipids, which yeast can now, live on industry leftovers, so to speak, and use it as a food for bioproduction. So we put everything together, and then we are creating like novel yeast, which are able to efficiently produce sustainable aviation fuels using low impact environmentally bioprocesses. So it is a little bit of taking all the knowledge that we have been collecting for many years or many decades on yeast and then apply directly to the sustainable aviation fuel field.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. All right, so I have another question now for Cesar, if he's ready now.
Sure.
I would like to hear from you. We learned from aviation companies already. What about governmental actions? So what are the future trends and governmental actions in this respect?
So, well, currently, for example, there is only one technology option that is commercially available at large scale to produce sustainable aviation fuels. So there's clearly one of the main priorities is to increase the number of technology options. So that means investing in research and technology to enlarge the possibilities, especially to produce sustainable aviation fuels from, as you have said, José Luis, the special interest is targeting wastes and residues to avoid competition with food, with land use, etc. And there is a really increasing interest from states around the world in identifying also the opportunities that SAF supply chains can bring to their countries, either in terms of feedstock production or SAF production capacities. Okay, so beyond the environmental benefits of SAF, there are also a new industry that will be developed, and that implies a lot of social and economic opportunities, and also energy dependency reduction. So many governments are currently undertaking national studies with the support of ICAO in many cases and others to identify their potential and develop tailored national policies. As a result, we are seeing many new regulatory initiatives as the mandatory uses that I have just mentioned in the example above. Yes.
Yeah, that's really, really good to hear. So that they are taking consciousness of an action on the problem. Thank you very much. Now, yeah, I would like to get back to you, Maria, briefly, and then maybe I can chip in a little bit while you are giving your opinion. I would like to hear from you as one of the young researchers involved in this field of research. What do you think is the role that the young researchers like you can play in this sustainable aviation fuel research and development? Or, I mean, not just you, but other YAF doctoral candidates and maybe even other research consortium which are dedicated to this. What is the role of you, the young people involved in this?
Thank you for the question. So I believe that young researchers, like each of us involved in the YAF consortium, bring new energy and new ideas to the table. So we are, all of us, open to new ways of thinking, and also we are learning how to cooperate in different fields, like catalysis, biotechnology, and downstream processes. And so it's very important for ourselves to take as a message how to work in this way, because I think is the key to solve the problem, one of the problems like sustainable aviation fuel production, because if we try to understand each other and how to cooperate, it's useful to bring new technology. And also YAF Consortium is not only involved to produce new technology, but also we want to try to share our results with the society. That's why we also cooperate with industries, with policy makers, change makers, and generally speaking with the society. So yeah, I think that YAF Consortium wants to give a difference in the scientific community about science engagement and communication.
Nice. Yeah, that's. I mean, I have a view. I don't know if you you may share that with me, or you can confirm my opinion on this. I have the feeling that now, you know, you are the generation which is starting to suffer the consequence of, you know, because when I was, especially in high school and then at the beginning of the university, we were always learning about, yeah, you know, sustainability. There might be soon enough need for greener solutions whatsoever, but we were actually watching this like from a comfortable distance, I would say. Like it's yeah, let's be prepared for that, but yeah, you know, it's still not really. Oh, we didn't see it as an acute problem yet, but I have the feeling that you guys are probably one of the first generations which are, I mean, which now can take action because you are full-grown researchers now, and then you have a lot of knowledge. So are you do you think that you feel, or I have the feeling that you guys you have the enthusiasm to actually make the change, because it is now on you the capacity to take action. So you are the ones who are taking the action, because yeah, you can blame previous generations a little bit on what are you living now. But I have the feeling like, okay, let's just, take it seriously. And, I feel that you have this enthusiasm and the capability of the necessity of taking action that probably we didn't really have back then, right?
Yeah, I agree with you, and thanks for the nice words, José Luis. And also, I would like to add that probably our generation is more aware of the effect of the climate crisis.
Yeah.
So I think that some of us has like a desire to face those kind of challenges and to discover new possible solutions. So yeah, there is the enthusiasm, scientifically speaking, but also as a human being doing something for the environment and the human society. So
Great.
Thank you. And okay, so thank you, Cesar and José Luis, for this very interesting conversation. And we talked about challenges, research, and future opportunities for sustainable aviation fuels. And also how the government, the companies, and the research itself can make a difference. So before we finish, I'd like to ask each of you to share a short key message for the audience. And it has to be something important you'd like to leave us with. And Cesar, would you like to go first? And then José Luis, maybe?
My pleasure. Thank you, Maria. Well, I would highlight that we've been discussing around SAF for many, many years already. We have to take into account that the first international conference that was organized by ICAO on this topic was in 2009. But the moment of large-scale implementation of SAF supply has arrived, and I believe there's no way back on that. So all new technology solutions will find more and more interest from the industry and finance institutions to enlarge the portfolio of SAF technological pathways. So just if I would conclude with a message, I really believe that is a good momentum to unlock the role of biotechnology to revolutionize SAF. Thank you very much.
José Luis?
Yeah, I very much agree with Cesar. Actually, I was thinking the same, like final statement, like there is no way back now. So it is probably already, I wouldn't say it is too late. I don't want to be catastrophic, but I think it is, we have the tools, we have the capacity, and now it is time to take action. I was very pleased to hear from Cesar something that I didn't really know, that there was already a mandate of implementing this. And I think I really hope that does not stop there. There are many times I speaking with colleagues, and then, when we are talking about this type of projects, the first thing come to mind is like, yeah, economical viability. Yeah, economical viability is one thing to take into consideration, but we got into the point that we have to take action and then just to start implementing this, because there is no way that this is going to be avoidable for much longer. So we need solutions, and then we need to start implementing now. Economically speaking, I think it will happen, but I don't think that the effort should not be on the economical part of view. Environment is actually in need of our action right now. So it is in our hands, and I'm very proud to be part of this project to make it change.
Okay, thank you very much. And a final message from my side about the research environment. I think that young researchers have the energy, the ideas, and also the responsibility to drive the change, not only in the lab, but also by sharing the results and the innovation with the society. So it was all from my side. I guess if you want to add anything else, you are free to do it. Okay. So Thank you, everyone, for joining this first YAF Talk. It was a pleasure to have Velarde César with us and José Luis as a part of our YAF consortium. And you can follow the project on our LinkedIn, YouTube, and the project website. And see you next time. Thank you for joining.
Thank you very much.